Dumelang and welcome to Mommy Diaries. As you all know, this show is about parenting, motherhood, and this amazing journey ya ho hodisa bana ba rona. This episode is brought to you by Ackermans. I'm dressed in Ackermans. And bana ba ko hae, we do have a giveaway. We have 5 vouchers at the value of 500 Rand. So shebella and then you might win. You'll never know. On today's show, Hakitsa Mekele one, as always, I am with Matshepo Segole and we are going to talk about all things infertility. This topic, Matshepo, is very interesting for me because most of the time when we're sitting here on Mommy Diaries, it's always about our little bundles of joy. Hey, homonati, but we not what we forget, but we do know there's another side of it. There's women like you. And I'm so glad that you are here. How are you, Matshepo?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so
Before we dive into the conversation and the topic, who is Matshepo and where are you from?
Oh, okay. Matshepo, but like I said, vaccine, it's happy.
It's happy, yes.
I always believe it rolls quicker off the tongue of Widoba Mathapelo. Matshepo.
Oh, Maseka.
Exactly. So Tepi is more user friendly and born, bred and buttered in the Val.
Okay.
But currently living in Pretoria. I am an accountant by profession. But by purpose, I am an infertility warrior. And what that is a nice, approachable name for a infertility activist. It carries the struggles of so many people. 1 in every 4 women in the world who are battling from, the ability to conceive and other underlying reproductive health disorders. So that's who I am. Jesus girl. I've always believed to be where I was or to be where I am is because of remembering him in all that I do. So this is also a way of ushering him into this engagement.
Of course, definitely.
But fun-loving human being and happy to be here, like I said.
And when you spoke about being an infertility warrior, take me through the journey before you became one and how you became one.
So I was married very young. Christian girls. I don't know if it's a stigma, but like just Jesus girls is that you get married young, but it's understand the concept of marriage. So I did get married young, and I didn't know at the time that I would struggle to conceive because active, participating in any sport that you can think of. But it's only after that I realized my overactivity was suppressing what was already there. So I was later diagnosed with something called polycystic ovarian syndrome, short for PCOS.
Oh, PCOS.
Yes, PCOS, yes. So it's essentially a more of a hormonal condition that causes imbalances in your insulin. So there's an insulin resistance issue that then translates into hormonal imbalances, which then also creates cysts around your ovaries. So I had that and I never knew until I started trying for a baby when I got married.
So sorry to cut you. You didn't have any symptoms?
So they weren't there because Negilawana. I just, like I said, I only realized after being overactive and checking how I was thought it was normal taking care of myself, but it was actually suppressing a condition that was already there, So it's only when you leave high school and you get to university, some things will become important. I don't want to exercise. I'm not going to eat healthy. I can do whatever I want. And then my body just exploded and then the symptoms just started, But they were more pressing when I started trying to conceive. And this is where the infertility journey started, amenorrhea of miscarriages. The diagnosis itself of polycystic ovarian syndrome is something that's taken very lightly, and a lot of women, not just in South Africa but in the world at large, are suffering and are struggling from it. Like I said, some are like me. It's suppressed. They don't even pick it up until you go to the gynecologist and he's like, okay, I see cysts around your ovaries. It's because you're doing things in your life that are suppressing it that you can't actually see that the condition is active, and it is a chronic condition at it.
So for someone at home who, like you're saying, a lot of women are being diagnosed with PCOS. Then I recently learned about it when I had one of the midwives here on the show. I didn't know what PCOS is. But what are some of the symptoms, even though they didn't happen to you, but that you
Yeah.
know of, so that we can help the women out there to be
Yeah.
on the lookout that this could be PCOS?
Yeah, I think if you're not actively trying to conceive, it could be small things like aggressive facial acnes, some discolorations or on your neck and certain areas of your body. I think they call it hyperpigmentations. Your diet, you're more inclined to have fluctuating cravings. But the most pressing one is abdominally, in those spaces where you get cramps, more severe cramps on your period. That is not normal. It isn't normal. Your flow should also not be too heavy. It really is a culture that we need to break, that a period is not supposed to be painful or heavy. It really is not supposed to last more than a week or less than 2 days. These are things that when you start picking them up are things that you could be. Again, this is information sharing that we share amongst ourselves as women, but the doctors would have more accurate diagnosis of what symptoms to look out for. But the point I'm trying to carry across is look out for these, but don't miss the opportunity to go see a doctor so that they can properly diagnose, because it could be symptoms of any other thing, but these are the ones that we normally pick up, amongst our groups.
Because I remember there was a time where I had, like you're saying, all the symptoms, like I had the acne,
Yeah.
I gained weight, like when you gain weight, like
even facial hair.
I do have facial, like it's so hectic. And
there is waxing every now and then.
During lockdown, let me make you laugh. During lockdown,
oh my god,
because I do have facial hair a lot.
Yes.
But during lockdown, I was like, okay, we're not going anywhere. We are all locked in. Let me just let it grow and see. It will feel like I. Hey, kaba paseka same time. Ma
went
was
out the
removed.
window.
When I'm thinking,
oh man.
So I've always had the facial hair, but I'm like, what if when I went to test, the doctor's like, no, it's not PCOS, but I thought it was because I had all the other symptoms on the side. Because now, like you're saying, the period pains.
Yeah.
We think it's okay, and it's not.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah.
A mild, like small pinch.
Discomfort.
Yeah, but when you're in excruciating amount of pain, these are things that can even develop into body endometriosis, which is even worse.
Painful. Yeah.
Like I can never take my head off enough for somebody who's struggling with endometriosis.
Yeah.
And the probability of you being able to have a child with endometriosis, it's heartbreaking.
It is.
It really is hard.
Yeah.
So these are things that if you can pick it up early, there is preventative measures in place for you, or rather symptom management, because it is a chronic condition, that you can start to manage it before it develops into other things.
Yeah. And then when you spoke about miscarriages, can a person or can a woman be diagnosed as infertile? Oh, but that's it. There's no other way. You can't have kids.
Yes and no, because we need to also address the issue of access, because some women end up not having children is because or accepting that they can't have children because they don't have access to some of the they called assisted reproductive health therapy. So it's treatments that doctors give that address specific infertility conditions. So for example, you need a womb, you need tubes, you need an ovary for you to be able to have a properly functioning reproductive system, and then your cervix and your vagina. But if any of those things are impaired, there are treatment options that are available to address them, but there are parts of that reproductive system that treatment options are not available. So for example, for a person who doesn't have tubes, they can't grow back. If they're gone, they're gone. So you need to now find other ways of being able to still have conception happen in the womb without it being done naturally. So these are where the gaps that come in, where the reproductive health therapy comes in to assist. Then there's women who have like endometriosis, like I said, where it's truly heartbreaking that there's women who've had to have take out their womb and get a hysterectomy because there's no way of salvaging the womb, you know. But I think that would be the most extreme case where a woman would not be able to have children. But there's technology in the United States and in the UK where they've experimented on a womb transfer where somebody donated a womb to a woman who didn't have and they had a successful IVF done. And these are things that are coming up now where Ostineo in my neighborhood, Haye Koval, I doctoring a fibroid and they ended up taking out the whole womb. Probably another option. So that's what I'm saying. Access also speaks to whether or not a woman can be able to, or a family can be able to have children. If there is access, and which is some of the things that we're doing in the rights group space of infertility activists in South Africa and in Africa, that how do we address or come into the same spaces with medical institutions and the people in those spaces who can have a voice to help Batuban access to be able to have children, because it is possible. We don't have enough information out there. People are just, there's an ignorance also with culture, black culture. Because then it means that you're opening yourself up to be vulnerable, to be judged. So we access is the biggest thing for me, and the availability and sharing of information will make more women see that it is possible to have children, not believe that when our
and then your miscarriages, take me through that. I can only imagine the pain, and the pain whether you wanted the child or you didn't plan the child.
Oh man,
miscarriage is one of the things that I know are very painful and sad. How was your experience?
It was heartbreaking. It was truly heartbreaking. Can you imagine as a newlywed and you're excited to build a family with your husband and he's your best friend? Something happens when you are looking forward, like with any disappointment, right? But the kind of disappointment that involves an unconditional love is harder. Our lose is something that you can move on to because you know there's more jobs, but they can never be the same child that you were expecting. So it was hard. It was hard because of the connection I had with the baby. It was hard because of the connection I had with my partner. It was hard with the connection I had with family and surrounding, because the way that the trauma that you experience in that moment, it changes how you look at each of those things. You seek a validation that's completely different after a miscarriage. Bodily, you internally also have there's a short circuiting of whether or not, do I still love my body? Does it function the way that it's supposed to? Inside of me, that you're constantly questioning yourself. So it was heartbreaking, and it changed a lot about how I felt about myself, about my husband, and about even having children in the future. You know, we now need to approach trauma and not really address being lovers anymore. It's no longer about giving each other love, it's expecting you to give me love because I'm experiencing trauma. And once you start to do that, you shift the relationship completely, because he also needs his cup to be filled. You still need to give love. Families around, they still need a sister, a friend, but you don't want to go to somebody's baby shower. You don't want to be in triggers when the family gathering. So it's more than just a bodily experience, it's an out of body experience. Really,
and then like you said, it does really affect your marriage, and it affects how, was there any support for your partner as well? Because sometimes we focus on the person who physically lost the baby and not knowing what that does to your partner. Did he get any support?
No. And I think this is where the problem lies, because as men, you know, men are called to be leaders in families, but nobody really teaches a man how to lead until he goes out there and he seeks that. And when you experience a miscarriage, how do you approach conversations? How do you care for her? What do you need to do? Ask her feel less of a woman, because at that point in time, it's not possible, but it's not impossible, you know. So it was hard on him, and I think I really expected him to show up more than he was able to, and it tore him into, because he still needed to be a husband, but he also needed to be a therapist, but he didn't have anybody to pour into him. So it really affected him, and I speak very openly about it, despite the fact that we're not married anymore. You take accountability when things don't go well, and when you look back retrospectively at what actually happened,
Exactly.
my trauma pushed this man into spaces that he was not ready to be in, because nobody put him in a position to be ready to care for me in that space. So I believe strongly that when you start with fertility or family planning, it's important that part of the medical family planning, you do the spiritual and emotional and mental family planning as well, where you prepare yourself that trying to have a child can go wrong. And what do you do when that happens? There's so many books available out there. There's so many professionals that are available that can help. Fertility counseling has become on the rise, where together with planning to have a baby, you have a therapist or psychologist who helps you navigate how to keep the marriage together, but still aspire to this goal that you get. Because remember, a child is not the outcome of a relationship or marriage. They are the fruit of it. So how no sna nalwena ha tlo ba teng mona la ha o ka tsala ha re mothole o tsala hore the child grows up and they go, it's still me and you. And we still need to be able to connect at a point that is not dependent on things outside of us. So I think there's more help that's required for men to be equipped to still be a man that values his marriage, but also is ready emotionally, financially, because it's a financially strenuous journey on its own. Spiritually as well, be ready, and mentally for what's required to not only be a father, but to be a husband, and also a mourning dad in the space of not being able to conceive, because trying to have a baby as a Masadi, it's a two more. So the both of us being able to do it healthily and in a whole situation is the prescribed way of trying to have a baby. We come from families and communities where it's
never it's your fault or your you're right.
So you change the narrative and you make it a family struggle. It's a family objective. It's our problem. It can make a world of difference.
And I also like what you said or touched on about taking accountability. I think as people, not just as women, the older we get, the more we learn how to take accountability, looking at yourself and reflecting and asking yourself, how did I contribute to whether it's the marriage ending or the relationship ending. I also did that a lot when I was after my divorce. I reflected a lot on how I contributed to everything falling apart.
It's part of self-growth.
Yes.
You can never be the only one who's right in the room.
No. All the time.
Oh wow, see, you can't always be the right one.
That's so true.
And if anything, seek to be wrong. Because there's an opportunity to grow in that space. There's an opportunity to cultivate on your strengths in that moment. So accountability is very important as a partner. Over and above it being about self-development, but as a partner, because we cheba pili before sheba matata mtumo. You are more interested in how you project love to others than what you receive, because if you're more interested in what I'm getting, you will never see what you project out. So accountability helps really not only in terms of relationship building, but with character building, internally.
Yeah. And in terms of the miscarriages, how many miscarriages did you have?
So I had 2 miscarriages, normal miscarriages, and then I experienced something the medical industry calls an ectopic pregnancy.
Okay.
And it is one of the most heartbreaking. I think every miscarriage is painful. But this one is heartbreaking because it not only means that, number one, you have to make a choice whether you save your own life or you save the life of the baby. And even then, it's very scarce. Like they've actually been no accounts I've heard of a baby being able to survive an ectopic pregnancy. It's the loss of the baby itself. It's the loss of your tubes because the baby gets stuck in your tubes. And having to be cut and go home with a C-section scar, but no baby to show for. I had the unfortunate opportunity of having that kind of pregnancy. And it's a medical emergency that whether you're doing something, you leave everything, you go to the hospital, you get admitted, and they need to operate. It's an emergency termination of pregnancy. And not only was it only one, but I had 2 of those kinds of pregnancies. And it's rare for a woman to be able to experience that, but we're seeing it on the rise recently. There's a lady also in the public space who, recently disclosed that she also had the same kind of pregnancy, and how heartbreaking it was to see that even people who are prominent experience this kind of pregnancy. You're no longer able to have children naturally, no matter how many times you can try, no matter what you can take, your tubes will never grow back. So I'm sorry, I'm normally very strong when I talk about this, but it's becoming apparent with time. You think that you heal from trauma, but trauma stays with you. It really does stay with you for years. You just learn how to live a healthy life, even though it's there, because it's a story that you have to constantly tell people. It's a story that you have to constantly, in awareness spaces, make people feel vulnerable enough to talk about it, even when that it would have to be either financially be in the right space to try and even remotely imagine having a child, because it goes back to my concept of access. So that was imagine being sterilized at 26 years old, 25 years old, being told that this is the end of the road for you, you're not going to be able to do it naturally, like it's done. So that miscarriage was heartbreaking. It's hard to talk about it. But with being in spaces with women just like me has made it so much more easier to really feel comfortable to talk about it. And because you're so busy trying to be strong. But sometimes you just need to and
let it all out.
So I find myself in a space where I'm able to do that because of support groups and because I'm in a family that understands this condition. I'm in a family they want to know more about what this is. I didn't have the opportunity for my marriage to survive. And one of the reasons that it didn't survive was because there's other marital issues, but because of, this condition that I had and all the miscarriages I ended up having. That was the end of the road for me in trying to have kids naturally.
And regarding support, you sound like you do have support from your family and they really want to know. But what I want to ask is that and hangata when it comes to the reproductive system, it's either we'll try the root daddy doctor, And then the doctors will say what they say. We'll tie the root. Yeah, you spoke about God and Jesus, but also because did you ever think that? Did you ever at some point think
it did, because we come from Black communities where you don't have a choice but to think about it, because that's what you're exposed to as you grow up. No, ke family ya bo mamang, ke bo mamang, ha ba le thabele, ha ba. Is God there in the moment? Are these doctors doing the right things? You always, you don't have a firm footing on what is the truth. Or why does my journey need to be like this? What in the universe? Is it a God? Is it an ancestor? Is it science? What is not working in my favor? You know, so it's African spirituality come into play, where Christianity forces you to go to church, lament your prayers and put your petitions to God and say, you know what, I believe in you to plant a seed in me, to be able to do this thing, do it through me. And then African spirituality says there are things it can get confusing. It can get, you're so loud. It can get very loud. And when it gets that loud, like I said, it goes back to which one is the truth. And once you get that kind of confusion, it's very hard to chart a way forward. It then goes back again to self-identity and who you are. What is important to you and how you see the world will guide you in what then becomes the truth that will inform your decisions, how you think, what information you let into your journey, and how you respond also to some of the triggers that happen along the way, because there's plenty of triggers. Baby shower, sometimes we have so many cases of women who had to end up taking out their wombs because doctors didn't want to be truthful about what they did, and whether they made mistakes. Now her chances of having a baby herself are gone. So stay true to who you are. Will allow you to align to what it will because you can't happen letting me to believe something because I can for as long as it's been forced on them, but for as long as it's internal and with a spiritual tact, it'll work. It'll definitely work.
And I think what you touched on, it gets so loud. Because and it comes from people we trust, and they also mean well.
Yes.
Because your mom can mean well, your dad can mean well, but because of they're also operating from a point of desperation. They really want their child to be able to be fine and be able to have children. So I get that what you meant about the loudness, that it gets so loud that I
mean, what daughter, what son wants to come to tell their parents because there's so many cases of wathola in dustbins, in garbage sites, in orphanages. But if only you knew how many men and women are crying to pick up the child from you. And now you have to stand in a position where you say, I might be one of those people. Chomi, gatherings, giddy parties, you don't even know half of what I'm experiencing, and it's a space of joy. But my mind, there's so many things running rampant. Kinahana bana ba mathang le thabo la bona, kinana hore o wa o bizitse ke mona o tseba mathata ya ka ka mona I want to show you support, and it's a lot.
There's a lot.
And it's avoiding the people who are going to ask you. Hey, you have to now think of a response to, and it be poised. Don't lose sense of who you are because of how you're feeling, you know, can get tricky. And it just, how many ADHD,
but I think it's one of every time you must just emphasize the whole thing of, as women and as just people in general, let's stop asking each other such questions. You know, when are you getting married? When are you having another child? When are you having a child? Because we don't know. Because I could meet you here and be like, I was married and divorced. You have kids. That question can trigger you into thinking about your situation. So I think we must also learn to stop asking those questions are personal
and
especially when you don't know someone. When you know them, you know what not to ask. But when you don't know them, when we're trying to come up with conversations, I think we should just stop. But men don't care. Men don't ask us questions like that. No man has ever asked me, when are you having another child? It's always beside you know, it's a morning. Hi. Hi, who is? You go home. Okay, I made the first baby. Okay, Sha. When are you making another one? And you're like, you don't even know why it's I think we should remind our sisters back home
what's the biggest thing. And maybe you're interested in what's happening. Give them the opportunity to come to you. Give them the platform to be the one to come and say, hey, what's and it takes something as simple as saying, how are you doing? How's life going for you? What's exciting? It's alang. You know, let them unravel. Or if they feel comfortable talking about it. Because if you're really gonna ask me something that I know, you know, so
and you touched on how you learn to live with the pain and the grief. You don't heal from it. How did you take how are you now, and how did you become the woman you are now, the woman that we see on social media helping other women, the woman that is freely comfortable talking about her own experience and helping other women? How did you get here?
I took a lot of crying. It took a lot of tears in the beginning. It took a lot of admitting that was something that most women, a normal woman, would not be able to experience. And I allowed myself to feel it. I allowed myself I went through this. They went through the same thing. I had to allow myself to close off, don't see people, don't go out, sit in the house, feel it until the only thing that is available is peace and freedom. And how peace and freedom started looking for me was journaling. It was talking to my mom a lot about my feelings. It was connecting with my friends at a different level, where let's not talk about my problems, let's really talk about our friendship. It was about investing in my career, and it was about trying new things. But the biggest thing was connecting with God, because there's a healing available in salvation. There's a huge healing available there. And after that, it was the bold step of saying, I don't want another woman who was like me to go through what I went through, because there's not enough information. What caused my ectopic pregnancies was because the doctor was not a specialist, number one. He diagnosed a treatment that was not what I needed at the time. And that's what led to the ectopic. So if I knew better, I would have gone to a specialist. He would have prescribed for me medication and a treatment plan that was better, or what was meant for me. So I gave out any other woman to go through that. So I took the bold step, and it took one status, and I said, is there anybody out there who's struggling from this? Here's information. This is what polycystic ovarian syndrome is. And I posted a video and I said, hi, my name is Tepi. I'm an infertility warrior, and this is what I believe, and this is how I think we can change. not just a person, but the world at large. And I wasn't ready for the reception because currently I connect with women not just in South Africa, in African countries, in America, in the UK, on a common struggle that has been silenced for too long. We connect on a daily basis. We connect in seminars. We connect on social media. It is so humbling to see that I thought I was battling with something, but so many more women, so many more families are going through this struggle but towards it. And to close it off, I think for me, staying in it, funny enough, was a healing. Because I was feeling so empty, and I started doing things to build back courage and love for myself. But now it was in giving the love that my cup started filling up. So I make, it's a running joke in one of our groups, and they know when I say, because I'm a facilitator, so in many of the groups that we have, that guys, if you decide to postpone, like as a group, if you guys decide to postpone and you decide that we're not meeting, know that my cup is half empty now, because what I'm doing and the exercise of what we're doing here is healing me on my journey. Ho phekola nna, ho rata basadi ba bang, ho thusa basadi ba bang, because it addresses a part of the trauma that I'm experiencing. It's amazing. It ends up giving you the biggest healing. It's like who was in a GBV case. Ariana, she has nothing to do with that. It's triggering, goes back and gives love and support to women who've also experienced GBV. It's such a beautiful way that God works, that He leads you down that path, and you think the path is meant to break you, but it's actually meant to make you stronger. It becomes your assignment, you know. And that realization was the best thing to ever happen to me. And going forward, that it's just unraveling that revelation that God has placed on my life.
And was there a time where you looked back and felt like you failed? When I say failed, you know, like sometimes you feel like, yes, it was one of the problems in your relationship, but you look back and be like, I feel like I failed. No.
And the reason I say no is because if I allow failure to take precedence in an already disadvantaged position, I don't make room for me to have positivity or optimism for what could be. Because I'm sitting in a position here could be. I'm 10 steps back than a normal person. So I don't have room to be pessimistic. I don't have room to think of what couldn't be, because it's already happened.
And where are you now? When I say where are you now, I mean that, do you think that, do you want kids?
I do. I'm excited about having children. I think it's a probability. With, like I said when I started the conversation, the assisted reproductive therapy that is available out there. So I'm optimistic. Will you?
Yes.
Then we
will. You can go through the process.
Because I'm currently single.
Well, me too.
Together. Lovely.
What are some of the how do I put it? Some of the steps one can take after they've realized what they can't naturally give birth to kids. Get about the IVF, get about the so
there's it depends on where the issue is, because if the issue is more of a hormonal issue, there's a lot of treatment options available to help you balance out your hormones. So doctors will prescribe medication that will help balance out your hormones. Lifestyle changes are great, really, they are. They have a holistic change on your body, mentally, physically, and also to address some of those conditions, the chronic conditions that you may have. So it means going to the gym at least 3 times a week, changing, swapping out the pap and putting some broccoli, prioritizing proteins, making sure that you are always cleansing and detoxifying your body are great things that can help improve your hormonal balance. Number 3, I think with the diagnosis from the doctor is to then look, as a couple, do we have sperm count issues, maybe prostate issues in there? Do we have structural issues in the woman as well? So things like tubes being blocked, ovaries having those adhesions, like those cysts inside, fibroids, conditions like endometriosis or adenomyosis, and addressing those specific disorders. So with a man, if they need to work on also their lifestyle changes to improve sperm quality, the prostate health as well, things that he can start doing on your end as well. To address the fibroids, how do you, if they're very big, doctors may suggest you go and get them cut, but there are ways and treatments and medications that are available to help shrink fibroids, so that you don't have to get those incisions and all of that. But if there's structural issues within the man and the female, there are procedures that allow doctors to extract the sperm because of maybe there's prostate health issues and the man can't actually participate in being able to give the woman the sperm to conceive. And it's procedures like your ICSIs and your IUIs that are useful for that. And then with a woman, if structurally like Howlina, you don't have the tubes, IVF is the best option then for you. Then the baby then is made in the lab and then they put it inside your ovary. If maybe you have ovulation issues, doctors can prescribe medication to help you release eggs if that is the problem. So there is still an option for women who are like me. Just go out there and find out. And the thing is, again, because we don't share enough information, there's public hospitals that can offer this advanced specialist advice.
Because it does sound costly.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing it with a private clinic, you're looking at anywhere from 90,000 rands to 120 for one cycle. That could fail. It could either be successful or fail. It's a 50-50, and it's not that there's something that the doctors are doing wrong. But like with any pregnancy, once you conceive the baby, it's still your body's responsibility to maintain. Yes. So then it can end up failing and be a normal miscarriage. But if you're going to with few, unfortunately we have few, but they are there, public hospitals that address and provide services that are more fertility specialist centric. So in Pretoria we have I think it's Steve Biko Academic Hospital, very good hospital, and they really offer the procedure at a much cheaper rate. But obviously because everybody's going there, there's waiting periods help is available. You just have to reach out, connect with women like us and what we put out there, and we can direct you in the spaces that you need to be in.
And as this amazing warrior, what are some of the things that you are currently involved in to help women out there?
So we have an organization called We Are Women Too. It's a advocacy group founded by women who are just like me, and we create spaces for women to feel comfortable to not only connect but to also share information about what they're experiencing, their day-to-day, their weekly life, what's happening on your journey, how are you feeling, to take you away from some of the other less emotive experiences in your life. So we host coffee dates. We meet together as ladies. We have seminars as well, or talks where we will call a doctor, even if it's on a live, TikTok, Instagram live, we'll call a doctor, have a chat, and the ladies have an option of connecting and getting more information either virtually or in in-person sessions where we have symposiums and sit downs and seminars. And currently we're building up to our second annual awareness event that's going to be happening in July. And we also have an outreach program with the prominent fertility center in Lusaka in Zambia that have called us to plant a support group in their fertility center. So that's one of the most exciting things. But there are a lot of things coming in the pipeline that are on a global stage where people are starting to awaken to the fact that there are these kinds of activists and they are addressing a niche market, but a niche that is a huge portion of our population globally. You know, if you check Worldstats publications, that infertility affects a lot of people. One in every 5 couples will struggle, and I mean, the fourth lady next to you could be struggling with polycystic ovarian syndrome or fibroids or whatever it could be. So there's a lot of things, a lot of collaborations with humanitarian rights groups on a global stage that are coming, working with the Infertility Awareness Association of South Africa. So there's a lot of great things in the pipeline. I'm excited, and I just hope, even if you are not struggling from infertility, just reach out and get to know what we're doing, because you could give life to somebody who's next to you that's struggling. It also helps you educate when okay, I might not be experiencing it now, because infertility is not a you can secondary infertility is possible. So don't think that it doesn't apply to you
just because
you've had children before. So we've seen that a lot. So take it upon yourself to get to know something that you've not known. It could affect you or somebody close to you in the near future. It has before. And what I'm speaking about now is starting to raise light bells. So it's an awakening opportunity that you're putting yourself in the space.
And what advice would you give to a woman out there who just literally found out, maybe if they have PCOS, or they found out that they can have kids, they are starting to go through it, because it's a new thing to them. What advice would you give them?
Number one, I think allow yourself to really be graceful with yourself. That's what I also did. But don't let the pain become who you are. Like with everything, pain and experiences, what's happening here in this room is temporary, but you are forever. So give yourself all the grace that you need. Number two, equip yourself with as much information as you can. Let's not make Google the doctor, but try your best to understand what the doctor has said. Make notes before you go for your gynae visits of things that you are concerned about. Preventative measures are available. Do your annual pap smears, guys. These are things that can also prevent dintotse that could be curbed. You know, do your annual ultrasound. Check for fibroids, for cysts. And when you do receive the diagnosis, don't think it's the end of the world. That's why spaces like us, and there's so many content creators as well who are creating content to help you make living with PCOS doable. It's livable. You can live with PCOS, and as much as it's not curable, but you can live with it. So do as much research as you can, but the most important thing, if you're in a marriage space, prioritize your partner. Be present with him, because you would be so surprised to get to the point of healing and being finding acceptance in where you are. Remember, it's about the both of you. It's not really about it doesn't matter what any condition. It could be cancer. It's about the genuine connection between the both of you. So prioritize connections with your partner, and make trying to conceive not your burden, but a burden. It'll make your life feel healthier. It'll make your marriage feel healthier. You will love on each other and so much, and you will even love others. Just be acceptance gives such a wholeness. It truly does.
Tsepi, your story, like I said, on social media has really, when we are going through it with Sandy, we were like, this is the woman we would like to have conversations with about this particular topic. Your calming voice, you taking out your time and realizing that you can help other women is something that is, I think, I don't think I would be able to do it. I think you are doing such an amazing job, and please don't stop. Even when you have your kids.
And about
because even when you have your kids, please don't stop. Because like I said, you are really helping a lot of women out there, especially because it's a topic that it's still taboo to sit down and have a conversation about you not being able to conceive and people not judging you about it. You're doing so well, and keep on doing great things. Any last words about we're more about what you do?
Well, any last words is thank you so much for having me. But like I said, she's sitting at home. Check out what we're doing. It's making strides. It's affecting a lot of women's lives. And expect us in a town near you very soon, and being able to create these spaces for people that are closer to you. And be kind.
Yes,
be kind. In everything that you do, be kind. If you love on each other as God's children, you've done your part for the day.
Let's be kind.
So let's be kind. Kindness is
let's be kind. Let's stop asking those questions. But when are you having a child? When are you having children? When are you having another one? Stop. I mean, once you know, what are you gonna do with that information?
When
please, let's just be kind. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, Tipi.
Thank you, and all the best. And I hope that you continue to create these spaces for more women to share on the side of being a mom, and those are still trying. But I'm still mom. We're still moms.
Definitely. Thank you so much for watching.